It's almost here. Maybe you judge the coming holiday by the sound of the bell ringer or their bright red kettle. Maybe it's the warm lights that are decorating some of the homes at night, or the smell of evergreen and holly sprigs tucked here and there. Growing up the oldest of 9 kids, we knew it was almost Christmas because inevitably several of us would have come down with measles, mumps, or chicken pox. Right, right. Ah, childhood memories. But no matter, we still anticipated the magic of the day. Just a bit ago, I was leaving one of the big box stores doing the Saturday shopping, and as I walked away from the clerk, I said, "Have a good day." And she responded, "Have a good day yourself on purpose." Have a good day yourself on purpose. She was inviting me not only to anticipate my good day, but to set the experience, the anticipation for experiencing it. Those 2 words, on purpose, have stuck in my mind the past few weeks. Interesting. In Thornton Wilder's fictional community of Grover's Corner, in his book Our Town, regular people live regular lives. One of his characters, Emily, asks the stage manager, "Do any human beings ever realize life while they live it every minute?" "No," said the stage manager, "no. The saints and poets, maybe. They do some." Well, in April of 1834, Ralph Waldo Emerson picked up his journal and he wrote, "We are always getting ready to live, but never living." And his contemporary and friend, Henry David Thoreau, did something a little different. Remember? He went out into the woods to live deliberately, and he said to learn what it had to teach. Remember, he wrote in Walden that he didn't want to reach the end of his life and discover that he had not lived. So we have philosophers and poets and writers and even fictional characters cognizant that much of humanity lives lives blindly unaware. These individuals then write and they encourage us to find meaning, to set intentions in life. We can do this in great matters of importance and in things that seem totally insignificant. Unity principle number 5. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. And this statement implies intention and awareness. This is full engagement, folks. It's conscious participation with that spiritual aspect within. This living on purpose means to live intentionally, deliberately, with an aim or a plan. We're cooperating with the universe. And in doing so, we're making the greatest contribution to our own growth and to the universe as a whole. Living in this manner, though, we find that sometimes old ways of being just don't work anymore. What was comfortable and what was expected becomes confining and limiting. New York art therapist Jackie Tiesdello warns us we might come to a point where the values and traditions that we grew up with no longer resonate with us. And she says it can be tough to navigate. But we do our best to be true to ourselves and to that person that we are growing to become. So what does this on-purpose living look like? Well, day to day, maybe it's that we wake up and we say a few chosen words, maybe an affirmation that somehow reminds us of our best way of showing up to the day. Maybe we have a regular devotional practice, whether it's a walk, a spiritual reading, maybe breath work or a gratitude journal, an act of service, or something else formal or informal. No matter what, we move through the day doing those actions that we always do, whether it's brushing the teeth, setting the table, washing dishes, whatever, but we do it mindfully. And then stuff happens. This is the three-dimensional experience, and we fall short. And so we extend grace to ourselves, knowing that we can continue to try. We set our goal and we try. Now, all of this starts where? At home. A jewelry company here in the U.S. took this literally. They believe beginning the day intentionally is important, so much so that they ran a contest this fall to see if people could make their bed for 30 straight days. What is more intentional than taking a moment to create a space that sparks joy, organization, and maybe even a sprinkle of adulting? They wrote. The Shane Jewelry Company pointed to studies that prove making your bed reduces stress, streamlines the morning, and improves areas of life. So it helps us gain clarity and purpose. Who knew all this from making your bed? You had to be over 18 to enter. You had to be willing to fold your blankets, to straighten your sheets, and to purposely place your pillows. And probably more important than that, you had to be willing to articulate just how this particular morning practice really did improve life for you. Now, the contest closed December 8, and the winner was notified on the 22nd. So the winner could be sitting amongst us today, already having begun their day intentionally. Oh, I'm so excited. Whisper it to me as you go out the door, would you? Earlier I said, we can find meaning and set intentions in matters of great significance and even in instances that seem totally insignificant in life. Well, here's some examples close to home. A friend of ours has 2 grandchildren. Now, both boys are teenagers now. One is nonverbal with severe disabilities and will never be able to live on his own. Some years back, the boys began attending summer camp for children with disabilities where the siblings were asked to come along to attend. After a few years, the one brother decided to give back. And so he approached the organizer and asked if he could be a junior camp counselor. That summer, he went back home and he asked for support in his church community to begin a monthly night for children, teens, and young adults with special needs. Volunteers helped to provide a place for these young people to gain a sense of community, just to have fun, and to learn about their spirituality. It's called No Limits, and it meets at Crossings Church in Quincy, Illinois. Think of the soft whispers or the nudges or the urges that brother experienced. He's living life on purpose and quite an example to us adults. A little closer to home, at age 5 at zoo camp, Henson Robinson Zoo out at the lake, this youngster wanted to save animal habitats. It's their home, so leave it alone, she would explain. In middle school and high school, she recognized that sustainable practices could make an environmental impact. She, her mom, our office manager, along with a few others, made sure that we recommitted to reuse, reduce, and recycle here at Unity Church. And from those efforts came our real flatware in Kane Hall and our porcelain dishes for potlucks and gatherings, along with other sustainable practices. Is it any wonder that Callie Smith, Deb, and Chris's child had a double major at Knox College in biology with an emphasis in conservation and environmental studies, and then went on to a dual master's program at Indiana University in environmental science and policy. Currently, she's an environmental analyst doing GIS mapping, and we last saw her here at candlelighting. She's moving on in life on purpose, each step leading to the next, leading to the next, and the next. Okay, so what about us? Maybe for some of us, our steps haven't been quite as obvious as these young people have taken. Maybe we still don't quite see the pattern that our intention lays out in life, but we can engage with it anyway, and we can cooperate with it. We can still find meaning and set intentions on our own journey. That sage Winnie the Pooh reminds us, sometimes the smallest things take up the most room in our heart. And John Kabat-Zinn would add, the little things, the little moments, they aren't little. Whatever it is that we are about, we value at the moment, and we recognize that our actions are purposeful and valuable, that our thoughts and our words add meaning and worth to the experience. Years ago, writer and clergyman Norman Vincent Peale published a sermon titled, "Start Every Day with Anticipation." He wrote, "Tomorrow morning, before you leave home, pray and ask Spirit to put somebody in your way during the day." Put somebody in my way? Holy smokes, talk about living on purpose. What about that suggestion? So we greet the person that holds the door for us. We bless the individual ahead of us in the grocery store line, even if they're unaware. We smile at the parent and the child at the park. Living on purpose in matters of great importance and even in instances that seem totally insignificant in life. Carmelite nun and reformer Spanish mystic Teresa of Avila wrote, "In everything we look for pleasant ways of serving God." Today marks the 4th week of Advent, and in our Unity devotional study guide, it carries the theme of joy. Theopedia.com defines joy as a state of mind and an orientation of the heart. Isn't that neat? I love that phrasing because it accepts that joy can show up in many varied, unusual ways and in many varied, unusual places and experiences. Sometimes it is expected and sometimes it surprises us. We find it in small packages and in unforeseen places. It can be loud and boisterous. It can be quiet and gentle. But no matter how it shows up, it is welcome. Consider the child that gets a new pair of shoes. It shows up in the excitement that they feel. Or when one of us sits down with a wonderful book, the contentment we feel carries that joy. Even witnessing an unexpected act of kindness, the hope for the world is influenced by that joy. And then, as some of us have experienced this past year, a dear one passing away, the bittersweet moment, even carries aspects of joy in it. Unity minister David Bryan Adams reminds us, joy is present in diverse moments, even if it looks vastly different. It keeps us present to our current circumstances, and it leaves us open to what will come, knowing that we are divinely cared for no matter what. Benedictine abbot and spiritual writer Dom Joseph Marmion penned, "Joy is the echo of God's life in us." As I was making notes for these remarks this morning, I answered an email from one of this school's academic support specialists, but it was her closing to me that touched me the most and grabbed my attention. She wrote, "Karen, enjoy this beautiful day and every day on in your purpose." Joy and purpose, I think Spirit has a sense of humor. And so we take this opportunity to reflect, to reevaluate, and to choose our path of intentional living. We look for the many faces of joy that live in each moment. And as we begin to close, a reading for our Unity Advent book. At the end of our Advent journey, we can never leave through faith, peace, love, and joy home. We realize at the deepest level that we are in God, fully human and fully divine, and the Christ is born anew. And we would add to that, as we live our life on purpose this Christmas Eve day and every day. Amen. Will you join me in a time of meditation? Regulating our breathing, stilling our thoughts, listening to the beating of our heart. From a deep and holy place, joy stirs my soul. From a deep and holy place, joy stirs my soul. In this blessed moment, stillness, my mind quiets, my physical systems rest. I am aware of gladness. At the depth of my being, joy. In the stillness, peace. I value where I am at this moment. I'm grateful for the air that I breathe, for the mobility of this body system, for the work that is ahead of me to do. From a deep and holy place, joy stirs my soul. In this tranquility, I listen. In the silence, I am. There is so much that adds value and meaning to my day. I behold the perfection of nature, the wonder of newborn life, the wisdom and grace on the face of a senior. All experiences of the divine. So this day, I dedicate it to the fulfillment of joy in its many faces. Quiet and boisterous, subtle and outrageous. For truly from a deep and holy place, joy stirs my soul. This is my truth, and I live it. I become aware now of the movement of the air, of individuals on my right and my left. And I hold this image of joy for all of this creation. Thank you, loving Spirit. Amen and amen. I invite you now to join in our post-meditation song, Merry Christmas. It's page 291 in our hymnals. Stand as you are able.